So it looks like we've gotten a number of Wolverine 2-packs from Marvel Legends recently, guys, but are these the Wolverine action figures that we really want to see, or are these kind of just some more ho-hum releases from Marvel Legends? Be sure you stick around till the end, guys, because we're going to talk about what Wolverine action figures we would love to see next from Marvel Legends. Well, the first 2-pack that we're going to look at is Brood Wolverine and Lilandra. And Lilandra looks really cool, and I really like the sculpt on this. This looks exactly like the character as I know her from comics and such. No notes on her. It looks like the sculpt is really well done. They've got lots of different textures and relief elements to indicate her costume. It doesn't feel phoned in at all, and I really love this action figure, guys. But Brood Wolverine is somewhat of a different story. For the most part, I think he's fine. I think that there's a lot of little cool things that are going on him, like the arms look really nice, and well, they're using the base Wolverine body, it looks like, for the rest of him, which honestly is to be expected. If you have a good action figure, do you really need to invent the wheel? Maybe not, although it would be nice to see an update to Wolverine's body eventually where he has the torso rocker, but as it is, his body's fine. Now, what really gets me is not necessarily the head sculpt, but the paint on the mask, because the mask should be an orange or a yellow or whatever color you want to call it on Wolverine's costume, considering that the rest of him appears to be orange. Yeah, it should be orange. That's the way his mask with his brown costume has been depicted, and that's the way it should always be depicted. That's not to say his head sculpt isn't really cool. Yeah, they did a really great job on that. It is grotesque, it is disgusting, it's beautiful, but man, they really dropped the ball on painting the top of his mask. It is something of an oversight, but considering that it's only one spot of paint on the action figure that they got wrong here and everything else looks pretty good, I'd say that this is kind of a nice 2-pack, and it costs $50, so it's standard price for both Marvel Legends action figures, and it might be worth looking into if you're interested in either of these characters for whatever reason. And you know, even if you're not, you still might want to look up the characters in the comics and check out the lore, right? Before we move on, I just want to note that Brood Wolverine here looks like he has a hinged jaw, so that's another nice touch, and I really appreciate that. Very cool stuff. The next 2-pack I want to look at, guys, is Wolverine and Psylocke, which is an interesting choice for a 2-pack, I think, but, you know, it's one that's unexpected and kind of nice to see. It's a pretty bare-bones Wolverine action figure we're seeing, admittedly, but, you know, he's not bad. It does look very much like the Weapon X Age of Apocalypse Wolverine that's been repurposed for him, which, you know, again, that's to be expected for something like this, but he comes with some stuff. He comes with a set of extra hands that has the bulbs on top. He has an extra head. That's very nice to see. I think the highlight of this Wolverine is absolutely the head sculpts, because it's really obvious they put a lot of work into that, and that's where all of their concentration was put toward, aside from Psylocke. And speaking of Psylocke, what an action figure this is, and I'm kind of surprised to see that looks like they've really gone all out on her. The sculpt is kind of incredible looking at this one, and the amount of detail that we're seeing on here is frankly shocking. I mean, look at that. All kinds of ridges, all kinds of armor plating. Nothing is phoned in here. It's not just painted on, it's not just mailed in. No, this is a really well executed action figure. And she's not light on accessories either. She comes with some special effects pieces. She comes with a set of extra hands and an extra head. This one's pretty well loaded, I think. I absolutely love the expressions that we're seeing on the head sculpts. One is very calm, cool, and collected, and the other one is very frightening. She looks evil, and it's a delight to see. This is another one that's priced at $50, so it's the price of 2 standard release Marvel Legends. Again, that's nice to see, although some people might have an issue with the price, but still, 2 standard Marvel Legends is the price. The next 2-pack we're going to be looking at, guys, is Wolverine as Logan, meaning he doesn't have his costume, and Sabretooth. This one is really cool looking because, well, it's a Logan action figure, and he's fighting a Sabretooth that I think a lot of people, a lot of Marvel Legends collectors, a lot of comic book fans have been wanting to see for a long time. Now, notably on Sabretooth, it does look like he's going to be using the Omega Red body with some new pieces for the arms, and I don't know, I'm okay with that, I guess, because Omega Red and Sabretooth, they kind of have similar bodies, I suppose. I like it a lot better on Sabretooth than I did on the Venom from Spider-Man the Animated Series, where they used Omega Red for that. This feels like it fits a little bit better in my mind. But more importantly, I think that once you get Sabretooth all posed up, he does look like he belongs on the body. I might even go so far as to say this looks like it belongs to him more so than it belongs to Omega Red, even though we know that not to be the case. The package looks like it has some decent accessories, and of course Sabretooth has an extra head that's just as scary as the first one, and he's also got some extra claw hands, and Logan comes with an extra head, of course, too, as well as a hand of cards and a set of extra hands. I kind of love how Logan is using a torso rocker here. There's no ab crunch, but that torso rocker looks pretty cool, I think, and it's nice to see that on an action figure. A lot of times when we see the Marvel Legends action figures with shirts on, they'll just eliminate any kind of torso rocker or ab crunch altogether and just give them a ball-jointed waist, which personally I am not in love with, but they've done it a couple of times so far. Thankfully, that's not the case here. I think one of my favorite things about this one, other than Sabretooth looking as good as he does, is Logan looking like what I picture when I think of Logan. This looks like Logan to me. When I think of Logan from the comics or from the TV show, this is what comes to mind. This look right here. This feels right for him. Once again, it costs $50, $49.99, and that's the price of 2 standard Marvel Legends. So they're really not overpricing these, it looks like. It's nice to see that they're not trying to attach any kind of Wolverine tax here, and it's nice to see that they're going so hard on the Wolverine. And the last 2-pack that we're going to look at today, guys, is going to be Joe Fixit and Patch. This is a really nice 2-pack, I think, and a depiction of the characters that a lot of fans have probably wanted to see for a long time at this point. And both of them look great here. Joe Fixit appears to be a repaint with some new heads of the character as we saw him from a deluxe release earlier as a Walmart exclusive. But really, he looks pretty good here despite that. When I saw this Joe Fixit, I had to take a moment and think whether they were doing any reuse or not, and I did look it up and they are, but at the point you gotta look things up, I mean, that's pretty good reuse at that point, I think. It does look like Joe Fixit comes with a set of extra hands as well as a very angry head, and really neither of Joe Fixit's heads are very pleasant, as to be expected. And Patch, well, he looks about as good as Joe Fixit does. He's got a set of extra hands, he's also got another head, and one is a very kind of sly looking face, and the other one is very much unpleasant. I think these two go great together, and they're going to be a worthwhile addition to a lot of people's collection. I love what the Marvel Legends team has done with this, and I feel like it very much captures the essence of the comic book on which these two are based. So really gotta hand it to the Marvel Legends team on this one, because all these 2-packs that they've come up with, all these Wolverine 2-packs, are some really nice work. We're seeing some great things in these. Well, Soulmates, now we've seen all these Wolverine 2-packs, what Wolverine-centric release would we like to see next? Personally, I think a redo of Cyber would be in order, because I really didn't care for the Cyber that appeared in the Wolverine 5-pack that was on Amazon a while back, and I think that a new action figure that would do Cyber justice would be pretty awesome to see. I really don't care what his stats say, I really don't care about the proportions, I just want to see an absolute monster of a Cyber action figure, and I feel like up against Wolverine it's gonna look real cool. Well, Soulmates, what do you think of these Wolverine action figures? Are these ones that you want for your collection? Do they do it for you, or do they not really do it for you? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and be sure you let me know what Wolverine-themed item you would love to see next from Marvel Legends. If you'd like to learn what the best Marvel Legends of 2023 were, you can watch that video here, Soulmates.